there's something about the psychedelic experience that seems to put us more in tune with this capacity, this sort of receptive capacity to be in the music. Do you see that too? And how would you describe that? Like, how would you describe what it is about the psychedelic experience that brings us to music in this way?
Well, I think music has played a really primary role in guiding the psychedelic experience. And we can see this in evidence of ceremonies like Lakota sweat lodges or ayahuasca traditional ceremonies in the Icaros, in San Pedro ceremonies in the songs. There's many other examples, like where the music is the thing that's guiding the journey. And these songs get codified in a way within each tradition as a technology. It becomes the structure, the ceremony. And so that alone is showing us that things have been figured out over and over again for a very long time, that music becomes the doorway, the primary mechanism to navigate, communicate, understand, integrate with these medicines. I was told by a shaman of Peruvian descent, for instance, with ayahuasca, saying that the Icaros, the songs, are bringing forth the spirit of the ayahuasca versus the medicine itself. Like they need the songs to do that, to like bring out the spirit. So in that sense, they're like, it wouldn't work without it, or it wouldn't work in the way they've designed it. So in that way, I see it as fundamental. That's not to say you can't take psychedelics and not have music. I mean, you're always probably going to have sound, like we were talking about, of different shapes or sizes. But I think it really can unlock the fullest potential with music. And then when you're using music that's specifically designed for this space, it can lean into all sorts of characters or character and qualities that can be imbued into the music that just makes that experience even better. And most people don't know that because they've never experienced it. I mean, at best, I think some folks have experienced a playlist, which is an amalgamation of different songs from different artists. Very few have experienced like one artist with a bespoke piece that's taking you from beginning to end in a cohesive way that's actually designed for that space.
And this is, I mean, we'll maybe ask you a little bit more about this later, but this is something that you've done, like you have an album specifically, Lovingly, which is that for people. And it's based on the timeline. It seems like it's more inclined towards something like mushrooms than something like LSD, being that it's like just shy of 7 hours. But you have done this both in a recorded fashion and as showcased in Music for Mushrooms. You have also done this in a dedicated improvised, like making this music happen in the real time experience of people's journeys. So I want to ask you more about that in a minute, but I want to maybe go a little bit more into what you said earlier. I can't remember the exact terminology, but that we get opened up to something, like something beyond us, with music and with the psychedelic experience, and collectively, like the two together working in tandem. Can you comment a little bit more on that? Like what is this thing that we're opening up to? And I guess in some sense, like, what is the value of us even doing so?
I don't know how to put into words what we're opening up to. But the value, I mean, for the soul to grow, for understanding, for perspective, and for connection into sort of our roots or the source of our own consciousness. At least that's what the value is for me. And it's a kind of reminder in a way, reorientation to what is, what you find important, so that you can make choices in your life that are in alignment with what you actually want, what you really want.
Is there something beyond the self in there though? Like, is there something beyond that
Well, yeah. I mean, when I'm saying the roots or source, I'm saying all that is. So, I mean, in essence, you're breaking through the idea of individuality or separateness into the idea that everything is one thing and you're a part of that. Therefore, everyone else is part of that same thing too. But you always get distilled back down after a journey into your consciousness. And so it gets back to like, what choices are you going to make and do you want to make? And how are you going to curate your life and navigate your life?
Mm-hmm. You're now having been inspired, if such is that, then what and who do I want to be such that I can live with that knowledge, that
I mean,
understanding, those
hopefully,
lessons. Right.
but some people get stuck in delusion or self-aggrandizement or all sorts of things. I mean, it's not like it's a panacea in itself. It's just sort of an experience and showing you things, and then you have to do the work. And some folks take that in directions that are maybe create more separation or just more ego and division. We see a lot of that as the commercialization is happening.
The commercialization of psychedelics, you mean?
Yeah, yeah, which is inevitable. But I think it's something to keep a pretty strong awareness on if you're swimming in these spaces.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I not infrequently get like emails from podcast guest agencies, and the sort of crux of the invitation is, this Fortune 500 CEO left banking after their ayahuasca experience, and now they're helping people transform their lives so that they can become hyper successful entrepreneurs and make their first million.
Yeah, to be more productive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all of it's inherently extractive to the world, and it's just the same story of separateness and commodification. And we're running out of things to commodify in the world too. So, I mean, there is an endpoint on that. It's just the resources of this planet, or the effects of commodifying those resources is more acute, like climate change and pollution and toxicity and plastics and so forth. And so, even the political situation is all related, really. Um, and so, on a certain level, we're being forced to transform. We're just not really doing it. We're kicking and screaming and all the things children do to rationalize and deny and lie and be like, that's not happening. Like, no, I don't believe you. No, I'm taking my ball. I'm going home. All these things.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. Let's go there in a minute, because I do want to ask you about the sort of where all of this fits in the sort of context of the world right now, because that is something that is
Important.
sometimes, well, vitally
Yeah.
important. But I meant to your documentary, it is like in sort of implicit throughout, and at times explicitly a part of the topics of like where all of this like music and psychedelic experiences and stuff fit inside of the crises that we're facing right now as a species and as a planet.